but you don't say it out loud because if you did, people would think you're crazy.
Yo, I've been waiting for this. Okay, so I've got a story time that I've only told one person in my entire life. All right, so y'all gotta hear this shit. All right, so if you don't know, just to look back at my videos, I've talked about my sister who was killed by her boyfriend in domestic violence case. And that was roughly about 2 or 3 years ago. All right, so remember that because how this factors into the story. All right. When we bought this house, there was this huge sweet gum tree that was in the middle of the yard. Let me show you. You see that area right there? That's how large the sweet gum tree was. So the sweet gums used to drop out of the tree onto the grass. And if you ever see a sweet gum tree, they drop these little balls and they're annoying as shit. You know what I mean? And they're hard to rake up. They mess up the lawnmower, all that. But anyway, one day I was out there just raking it up, just cleaning it up, right? And all of a sudden, like my stomach started to hurt like real bad. So I ran to the bathroom. And before my cheeks hit the seats, I heard this huge crack and like a boom. And it just like rattled the entire yard. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Right? So that crack was a branch that fell from almost the very top of this almost 50-foot tree, came tumbling down and stuck into the ground. It was a huge branch and it came down with so much force that it dug almost a half-a-foot hole into the ground. Get this. It fell right where I was standing. I'm talking about if I had a target on the top of my head, the top of that branch would have went straight through it. And I had only been there not even 2 minutes before that branch broke. And the part that was eerie to me was that while I was standing there, I didn't feel alone. I was in shock and I was scared. I was like, yo, I could have died, but I didn't feel alone. I felt like somebody or something had saved my life. And later on that night, when I went to sleep, I saw my sister and it was in my dreams and she just stood there and she was smiling. And it was crazy. She just like smiled at me and I looked at her and she winked in the dream. And then she just walked away. To this day, I believe that she saved my life. She touched my gut, told me to leave. And because of that, I am still here today. And it's just something I've never told anyone. Well, can't say that now, but it's just, hey, they always with us.
I heard my heart stop from going racing. My heart literally just, it sounded like shutting off an engine. My heart went bup, 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 bup. And on the last beat of my heart, my spirit left my body and I went up to the roof of the garage, 14, 15, 16 feet. My body was crushed. It hurt so bad. But when I went up on the roof of the garage, I don't have words to describe how good it felt. It was perfect peace. It's like probably the best way I can describe it. And even that is like way lame because that doesn't even cover it, but perfect peace is what I experienced. The Bible talks about peace that surpasses our mental understanding. So I'm looking down and I say it like this. I was having a party by myself in the ceiling. I could see the truck. I could see the accident scene. I could see the guy underneath the truck. I was so disconnected from the accident, I didn't even know that guy was me. So these people are coming in and I'm up in the roof of the garage watching them come in. I'm looking down. I could see Leonard, the guy that I've been working with who had known me since I was young. He's on his knees. He's crying, he's running his fingers through my hair, but I didn't know it was me at the time. And he's apologizing to this guy and he's saying, I'm sorry. I could hear every word he said. He's saying stuff like, I'm sorry. I should be the one that's dead, not you. I'm such an old fool because he hadn't used the safety equipment, whatever. That's stuff he was saying. And on each side of Leonard was an angel. And I'm basing their height approximately 2 feet taller than Leonard based on just me looking down. They were on their knees just like Leonard was, so I'm guesstimating that they were approximately 8 feet tall. Big guys, very muscular, white shining robes. They didn't have wings. Sometimes in the Bible they have wings, sometimes they don't. But the one from the driver's side, they had really long hair that went way down past the belt on their robe. And the one from the driver's side reached over and he put his hands in the flat spot. And the one from the passenger side reached over and he put his hands in the flat spot. And so I'm just watching from above. And I said to myself, oh, look, the angels down there, and they're down there to help that guy. But I didn't know it was me. And it didn't even seem like a big deal. Strangely, it seemed normal. So I'm just watching it from above. And the angels are touching the guy. And that's when the last two people got there. And the lady, her name is Shannon. She moved Leonard out of the way. And she is now down between the angels. She's feeling for a pulse. I'm watching it all from above. I watched as that lady, Shannon, she starts doing this. Bruce Vanetta come back, and she kept getting louder and louder. And all the other people, the other volunteer fire department people, they weren't going to do CPR because I have a massive chest injury. So that's why they didn't do CPR. They just said, let me be. They called MedFlight, and then I passed. But she's slapping me in the face, and everybody in the garage, they all are looking at her like, what are you doing? And she just kept getting more emphatic, louder and louder. Come back, Bruce Vanetta, come back. And the only way I can describe it is that every time she said Bruce Vanetta, I would not have said it was my name, not even close. The only thing I could say was, and this sounds really weird, but it sounded familiar, is the only way I could say it. And she kept saying it, and my spirit began creeping down from the ceiling. And when I got about half the way, my spirit came back in really super fast, it seemed like, and it seemed like it came in through the top, through my head. And when my spirit came back in my body, my heart started. No CPR, no medicine, no nothing. My heart started, my eyes pop open, and I'm looking at this lady. And the first thing that hit me was, when I came back in, was this horrible, horrible pain. Because like I said, I felt perfect in the ceiling. So now I'm back inside my body in this horrible pain. And I remember saying literally, oh no, I'm the guy in the truck, it's me. And it hurt so bad, And I just said to myself, I guess, I just said, I don't want it. I don't want this, it hurts too bad. And when I said, I don't want this, my heart stopped, my spirit left my body, I went back up to the roof of the garage. But this time, a tunnel opened up, like some people have a near-death experience or out-of-body experience, they see a tunnel with a light on the end of it. And it was going up like at a 45-degree angle. It was like 1,000,000 miles long, and there was a bright light on the end of the tunnel. And I knew that I knew heaven was on the end of that tunnel. It was the craziest thing I heard.
About the time an angel saved my life. Well, I have had several mystical experiences, both in and out of plant medicine. This one remains incredibly precious to me. So this was back in late 2021 or early 2022. I was really at the peak of my Adderall abuse. My marriage was crumbling. I was peeling back from my friendships. I was a workaholic, unhealthy. It was ugly. So on a particular day, I am out for a walk on a route that I often have taken. It's going from my neighborhood to another neighborhood to another neighborhood and then back. And this certain day, like most days, I was completely ungrounded. Took too much Adderall. As I was walking, I was completely consumed by my phone. I had my head down. I was voice texting people, and in between listening to a podcast. And I'm sure I was Googling things also. The only grounding I had was my feet hitting the cement as I was walking. On this particular day, for some reason, I decided to go off course and go into a desolate area. Basically, where a hill started, the houses stopped. And down the hill and up the hill was just wooded areas on both sides. It is a very isolated part of this neighborhood. As I made my way to this desolate part and start declining down the hill, I start hearing this commotion behind me. Ma'am, please, ma'am. I turn around to see what is going on, and there is this man standing in the middle of the street. He was short, pretty fit, dark skin, bald head, and to the right of him on a side street was his pickup truck parked at the stop sign. He said, "Ma'am, there has been a man following you for the last several minutes. I happened to catch this and I started to follow him. He had parked at the bottom of this hill and I know what was going to happen." And he was like, "I don't want to scare you, but use your imagination." He was like, "Please, I need you to pay attention. I need you to be safe." So obviously at this point, I had turned around and was walking toward the man away from that hill. And so I had taken my headphones on and I was just like, "Thank you so much, sir." He nodded slowly and he got back into his car. So at this point, I had turned around. The hill is behind me and I am headed back home. I'm waiting to hear his car turn on or hear him pass me in his car, but I turn around and the car is gone. He was parked on a street that is a cul-de-sac. So yes, is it possible that he could have done a U-turn and gone down that street? It's possible, but I don't think so. I would have heard his car turn on. And I remember telling myself, oh my gosh, that was a guardian angel.
7 miracles that literally cannot be explained. Back in 2015, Lynn Grossbeck lost control of her car and then she crashed into an icy river. After 14 hours, rescue workers finally showed up at the scene, and they found her 18-month-old daughter in her car seat hanging upside down. But how did they find her? Both firefighters and police say that they heard an adult voice from inside the car saying, "Help me." But this was impossible because the mother died on impact. There's no explanation for the voice or how the little girl survived 14 hours in the freezing cold. Follow for part 2.
Watch closely. Is this proof of the divine or something else entirely? And I'll be honest, I think it's proof of the divine. In just a moment, I'm going to show you a picture that one of my followers sent to me. It's from her front door camera, which is set off by motion, and she believes she captured an angel. Just a little bit of a backstory. One night, or early morning you might say, around 5:45 a.m., her camera was activated by motion. Something set it off. 3 days later, unfortunately, she miscarried, and then, after reviewing the footage from this camera, she was just curious what set it off. She caught this photo of what she believes to be the angel who come and retrieved the precious soul of her unborn baby and took it to heaven. Sometimes God gives us little signs, just a little nudge to let you know, look, even during these dark times, I'm with you, I've got you. It's terrible, but your precious baby's in my hands. You'll see your precious child again. And here's just a little reassurance to let you know that. Feel free to submit and share any story or picture or video you may have. Check this out. This is the original picture. I want you to look right here. This is this lady's porch. And I'm going to zoom in and circle if you don't see it yet. But if you look closely, right here's the head, wings, where the legs would be. Here you can make it out even more detail. And again, this set off her Ring camera late in the night, and you can clearly see what we would think could be an angel. It's truly remarkable. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any kind of evidence like this you would like to share, angelic, paranormal, my email's listed in my bio. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. God bless.
I encountered an angel in human form yesterday by my porch, by my house. Let me tell y'all how it went. I'm a little overwhelmed and I'm excited because I thought I couldn't see angels or anything of that nature, but let me get into it. So boom, I was sitting on my porch, regular degular, just sitting there, reading the word, just soaking up the sun. And I was on the porch with my neighbor. And my neighbor, he came up with, he was talking about angels. He was like, I feel like we all have a guardian angel. And we just started talking about angels. We started talking about how angels come down here in human form, how angels are protecting us and stuff like that. You get me? Because he a kid, he trying to get into it. This is where it get So we sitting there talking, and we're talking, and we see a lady. She had slacks on. She had a dress shirt on. It looked like she was going to an interview with plaits down hair, water bottle, and she was just walking past our porch. But for some reason, her presence, it didn't give familiar. It gave who is she? Because mind you, we know everybody that stays around our apartment complex. But it seemed like we never saw her. And it caught us off. As soon as we saw her, it caught our attention. And we just eyeing her as she walks. And mind y'all, I'm sitting in the further back part of my porch. And my neighbor, he's sitting in the front. I didn't see her walk off nowhere else. But he saw her vanish in midair. And I believe him. She literally disappeared out of nowhere. She wasn't even too far away from my apartment, y'all, to walk anywhere else. And I'm getting up and he's like this. Drill, she disappeared. I said, what you mean? I said, let me go look. We looking. Bruh, it's a walk path. You will see somebody still walking. You feel me, to wherever they gotta go, but we don't see nothing. We even hit the corner to see if she walk. We don't see nothing. Y'all. And now that I think about it, I don't even remember her face. And he don't remember seeing her face neither. I'm just so happy. Like, I really thought I could not see angels. I thought, because my sister, she's like anointed. She see angels. Sometimes she see like demons. Like, she be seeing like spiritual stuff. But I said, what? And what kind of gave it all to us? Like, I was looking at her like I was literally eyeing this girl walk. Like, in my mind, I'm talking. I'm like, she don't look familiar. And the way how she was walking, it didn't give like human walk. It was given like March, low key. Like, and now that I think about it too, I don't remember seeing where she appeared from. It's just, y'all, it's like I remember everything else, but I do not remember the face. And I know it was an angel because I have a friend who shared with me a month ago the same encounter. But his encounter, she asked for a ride home. And the fact that when he shared his story, he couldn't remember her face. He couldn't remember seeing her face. And she was in the car with him. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just so excited. Like, God is good and he is coming back soon. For me to see an angel in a human form is wild to me.
This ghost legit saved someone's life. This lady was alone in her house waiting for her husband to get home from work. She was alone with the baby and wanted the baby to sleep. So she was laying in the dark, using her phone at around 10 p.m. when suddenly she hears the front door handle go rattling, go crazy. So she explains that she gets up to go open the door for her husband. She thought he was having trouble opening the door. And as she's getting up, she says that she hears a voice tell her to turn on the lights. And she did. And as soon as she turns on the lights and goes to walk toward the front door, she hears footsteps running away. She was a little freaked out, but left it alone. And then when her husband finally got home, she told him the story. She says that they have a late dinner, they turn on the TV and the news are on. And the news explained that an inmate down the street had just escaped. To please lock your doors.
I physically remember hearing myself take my last breath. I left my body, hovering over my body, looking down upon myself. And when I recognized that body wasn't alive anymore, this beam came from behind me so bright, it lit up everything underneath me. And it drew me right into the gateway. This beautiful tunnel. The tunnel was made up of magnificent colors. And now I am starting to move. But I'm feeling this amazing feeling. I have a feeling like I never had before. A love. The love was so incredible that you actually become the love. Now you're in this light, you're part of this light, and I'm moving at what seems to me like the speed of light. No debris, nothing, just light, beautiful colors whizzing by me, going through me. And this love is growing stronger and stronger. By the time I get to my destination, I remember distinctively saying, I'm home. I'm finally home. I remember hearing a soft voice speak to me. And she says, yes, Bill, you're home in the light of God. And then she says, my name is Antonia. I am one of your guardians. And now I'm being greeted by spirits all around me, family, friends. And I remember mingling, talking, feeling love from everybody. I recognize them, they recognize me. Everything is done through telepathy. There's no mouths at this point. There's no bodies at this point. They're beams of light. I'm still a mist at this time. After it seemed like a few minutes have passed by, and I hear this voice, "Hello, Billy." When I heard that voice, that was my brother's voice. Then he explained to me that he has to take me now, and that we were going for something. And I said, "What?" He says, "We're going for your life review." I didn't know what that was, but this is now the first sense I have again of my life back on Earth. When I spoke to him, I forgot for a while. And he took me to another level, which they started this amazing, amazing thing. They showed me all the good I've done in my life. They showed me all the wrong I have ever done in my life. Luckily, thank God, I always say thank God, I never really felt like I really did anything really, really bad. But I didn't know the hurt I caused some people. But you get to feel that pain. You get to feel that hurt that you put onto others. You become the physical pain. And I was physically crying in my spirit, but no body. But it's like I felt the tears. It mounted so bad. I said, "I can't take it anymore. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. And all of a sudden, a light came in and said, "Now we'll show you the good side." Thank God I did a lot of good in my life, especially with that job. Years as the paramedic, doing all that, trying to save people's lives and bring them back and help them in every possible way I could. That's when I understood what we're here for. I understood that we're here for service, to help one another. We're all connected. Until that time, I was a business person. I didn't think nothing in my head but business. I was going to come home from the show and I had an appointment to go to QVC, and that was my life. I didn't have those kind of thoughts in my life prior.
Everyone wants to talk about guardian angels or ancestors and conflate the two when we're talking about ghosts, guardian angels, and our ancestors. Well, I am lucky. My guardian angel is actually my great aunt. She's not an angel. Completely different from angelic versus being my guardian angel. She's my ancestor, but she is all the way around. She first appeared when I almost lost my life. It was shortly after she passed away. Oh, I take that back. She first appeared to me when I almost lost my life. She had always been with my mother. My mother is very gifted to, my great aunt, she passed away when I was 12. My great aunt Kalasi, she is a feisty woman. I'm going to post a picture of her so you can see her when she was alive. But when I tell you this woman is feisty, and she is even feistier as a spirit, I used to constantly get woken up by my mother. Her bedroom was downstairs underneath mine, and she would be speaking in the middle of the night. Remember, my house was built in the 1875. So the pipes and everything like that loud, and when you speak, it filters through the pipes in her room. So whatever she said in her room, I could hear her directly in mine, like she's sitting in mine. So 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I would hear my mother up talking. I would get up to see who was in our house, and I would see my mom sitting on the edge of her. I don't know why my mom never closed her freaking bedroom door. That's the weirdest thing, because I cannot sleep with my door open. That's a whole other conversation right there. How the hell do y'all sleep with doors open? I don't know. Anyway, my mom she would sit on the edge of her bed and she would hold conversations with my Aunt Classy. At first, I didn't know who she was talking to, but then one day I looked and I can actually see my Aunt Classy sitting there speaking with her. And this went on for, a while. But when Aunt Classy showed up for me, my sister had moved out by the time. Remember, my family members, they're older than me. This is my sister, my oldest sister, who I love dearly. She's 9 years older than me. She had moved, of course, still close to her mama, but it was down the street, walking distance. It took me less than 5 minutes to walk to her house. So I used to spend a lot of time at her house as well. At her house, there was the floor going out into the backyard, the back door. It also led down to the basement. So when you come in, you could come in, you either go straight down to the basement or you'll turn into the kitchen. So I'm just giving the layout so you know. Well, apparently, the floorboard had, the floorboards, oh my goodness, I can't speak. The floorboards had worn out. But we didn't notice because when we walked on it, it's not like they were loose or they were squeaky or they were anything. The floorboard gave away when I was running in and out the house and I fell. My great auntie Classy caught me because beneath me was the basement, and that part of the basement, it was unfinished. It was those rebar bars. I don't know why this was in this particular basement. It was a part that nobody went into the basement. It was bricks and that rebar. I think that's what it's called. Those old pipes sticking straight up underneath me. If I would have hit those pipes, it would have been over for me. But my great aunt Classy caught me. And if you know my Aunt Classy, this is going to sound weird to everybody else. She said, "Little redhead bitch, what you doing?" When she caught me. And that was my Aunt Classy. That's how she spoke. That she's a real rough woman. I have to give you a whole different talk about her, because if she wasn't cussing you out, that woman did not love you. If she was nice to you, you better run. She was just that type of woman. She was a she was a sharecropper and just grew up to be, one feisty woman. I'm talking about. Yeah, I have to do another talk on her, but yeah, she caught me. And that was the first time she had appeared to me after she passed away. I'm getting a little bit of chills right now because she know I'm talking about her. Because from the day she has never left my side. So she likes to hang out in the kitchen behind me a lot, because that was one of her favorite places when we used to visit her. She was always in the kitchen. Even when she came and lived with us before she passed away, she would always be in the kitchen. So I'm kind of, for all of you other people that are on here that are mediums and stuff, I'm sorry I'm shooting all type of energy out at y'all because I just got a little bit emotional. But yeah, that was the first time my Aunt Classy showed herself to me, is when she caught me when I almost fell to my death. I am so thankful. I only ended up with bruisings on my leg from where the floorboards gave away. Like it impaled my leg really, really bad. And it was crazy because I was an athlete. I couldn't do anything for a while because it messed my leg up really bad. But thankfully, I am still alive and I'm still here. And my great aunt, who is my guardian angel, she's not I can't say she's an ancestor to me, because when I think of ancestors, I think of people that were around way longer than her, because she's my great aunt, but she was in my life until I was 12, and I was her baby. Like she had other kids, but I was her baby. I was like hers. I spent more time with her. I love my grandmother dearly, but I spent more time with my Aunt Classy because she was closer to us. Where she lived. She lived in a town that was closer to us than where my grandmother spent. But I spent summers with my grandmother, but I spent daily life with my great aunt. So yeah, that's who my guardian angel is. So now we can get that out the way. Like, I know mine. And then I do have another ancestor that shows up from time to time when I get off my life path, and they are very, very ancient. I'm talking about whoever this person is. I don't know who they are. They haven't given me their name yet. They are I call them the time before time person. There's a little, very, very short stature, in orange, mud like the orange, mud like orange. But whenever I get off track, that person is in the corner with them. Judgment, very, very judgy. But yeah, that for me, that's what a guardian angel is, not the actual angels that show up. And because the actual angels that show up, I mentioned it before, but angels are scary. They are scary, scary, scary to see. And the ringing is almost like tinnitus, but it's not tinnitus. You will know the difference if you're actually in the presence of an angel. It's almost hard to bear, but it's not tinnitus. The vibration with it, and it's an energy shift, almost like lightning has struck. That energy that strike of lightning leaves, and they're not solid. It's like moving flesh. It's horrifying. But yeah, that's that.